Good evening. I am Callie Laubacher, President of the Pine Richland chapter of the National Honor Society. Welcome to the 2019 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. We are gathered here to formally recognize those students who have been selected by the Faculty Council of our school for successfully completing their candidacy and who are being inducted as new members of our NHS chapter. For current members and those former members who may be among our guests, we hope this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you too are charged with maintaining as members of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program. I would now like to introduce the NHS officers in attendance this evening. Officers, please stand when I call your name. Vice President Benjamin Vidic. Secretary Enyo Aquena. Treasurer Emma Coleman. Service Coordinator Elizabeth Tice. Service Coordinator Thomas Andrews. And Peer Tutoring Coordinator Aranya Krishnan. Thank you all for your dedication to our chapter. Now, please rise for the singing of the National Anthem and the Pine Richland Alma Mater.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Through the gracious halls of learning march thy students ever yearning to the lamps of wisdom turn. Pine Richland high, all hail. Sing the chorus loudly, lift the banner proudly. Green and white you'll always light our paths and goals so brightly. On we march for Alma Mater, on we march each son and daughter, singing loud our praises to Pine Richland high, all hail.
Please join me in thanking Ethan O'Neill, Kristen Vigna, Ben Solomon, Olivia McGeary, Thomas Andrews, Julia Martin, and Claire Tobin for providing the music this evening. On behalf of the officers, inductees, and returning members, we would like to thank all of the administrators in attendance this evening. We value your support of our chapter and appreciate you being here tonight to honor the induction of our new members. It is now my pleasure to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Miller, for the opening remarks.
Thank you. Mr. Karpinski or Mr. Clack, if you could put the house lights up, please. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to Pine Richland High School for tonight's National Honor Society induction ceremony. I'd like to first congratulate tonight's inductees. It was great to give you a quick fist bump in the cafeteria, so thank you. And to parents and family for being here this evening, congratulations, a tremendous accomplishment. When I think about NHS, I think about balance. And tonight you'll hear about the 4 pillars, and each of those pillars will be explained. What I would like to do is share a little bit about the insert that you had when you came in today. So if you could take a look at that piece. So, and I'll share a little bit about how that connects. So in your program, you have a copy of an image that reflects a Pine Richland senior in cap and gown. And you can see that that cap and gown senior is comprised of a lot of little pictures of actual Pine Richland students. But this graduate portrait is not just for graduates, it's not just for seniors, it is really a responsibility that we have for all students. When we think about a quality education, we know that it means more than just academic knowledge. The other dimensions of the Pine Richland graduate portrait include skills, health and wellness, and also personal qualities and characteristics. Tonight, we know that a lot about knowledge and skills fits directly within the scholarship pillar for NHS. But these other areas is in the last category, personal qualities and characteristics. We see that that aligns to service, to leadership, and to character. The idea being, as students graduate from Pine Richland, and whether they're in 3rd grade, 10th grade, or they're ready to move on to college or the military or technical school or work, they are balanced and ready to be successful at that next step. So again, congratulations, inductees. Thank you to our staff advisors. One of the best parts about NHS each year is the advisor's ability to really have this be a student-centered, student-run ceremony, and we are very thankful for that, so thank you for your leadership. And finally, I want to share my family has a commitment tonight, so thank you to Mrs. Bowman for her flexibility. We swapped spots tonight so that I can be with my family. I'm sorry I will not be there for the handshake, but congratulations, and know that the fist bump was the handshake. Have a great night tonight.
I would now like to introduce our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Jared Slim. Mr. Slim teaches social studies and works with many of our students in attendance this evening. Mr. Slim was as new to the high school as my senior class was when entering. However, being an incoming student and seeing another new person that had so much commitment, pride, and passion for what they do really changed my viewpoint of the mountain that high school was. He understands, empathizes, and encourages students to be the best them, both inside and outside the classroom. I've had the privilege of having Mr. Slim for 4 years now and could not have a better teacher speak, representing the heart of the National Honor Society, the passion and drive to do for others. We are pleased to have him here tonight to share his thoughts.
Ben, thank you very much for the introduction, and welcome everybody this evening. I want to thank all of the parents for coming out tonight. You represent one piece of the puzzle that is our kids that we get to see on a daily basis. And I truly believe that all the students here are our kids. I don't look at them as students. We say our kids when we're talking about them with other teachers in the hallway. And so for you to put your trust in us, that we have your kids' best interests at heart, we really appreciate that as a staff. When Ben and Enyo approached me separately to come and speak tonight, I was beyond excited. I truly cherish every opportunity that I have to speak with our children. And so to be the fifth or sixth person that they asked in order to do this, I can't say enough how exciting that is. That's really great. Just touches me, really does. And I was so excited that when I went home and told my wife Jenna about it, her first response was, "Were they serious?" And my wife knows me pretty well, and it's a fair question, to be honest. And I said, "Yeah, they are." And she said, "Well, you know, you have to write a real speech to speak about the qualities of these kids, not simply show memes or talk about Harry Potter the whole time." I'll get over it. As my wife knows, as many of you know from having had me in class, I tend to be a bit nonconformist in a lot of ways. But I did make sure that I let Mrs. Bowman know that the orange pants and the blue tux jacket would stay home tonight, and I would try to put on a professional face for all of you. One of the reasons that I think that I have such a great time here at Pine Richland is the interactions that I have with our kids on a daily basis. And I think it speaks to being true to yourself on a daily, every day, every period, it doesn't matter when it is, we need to be true to ourselves. And it's the relationships that we can develop with our kids built on that idea of truth. And National Honor Society represents how we can develop that truth. Because none of us is perfect as we sit here today. Whether academically, socially, emotionally, we are always a work in progress. The National Honor Society represents the ability for us to continue to grow as humans and as students. To me, I've always felt that relationships lead to more growth than individual learning does. And so I try to exemplify that with all of my students. Whether it's a study from Stanford University on small groups or a Tony Robbins speech, the power of relating to one another matters. And so tonight, I'm going to be speaking about that, especially in regarding one of our 4 pillars here, the idea of service. This is the end of a journey for those of you coming in. You have gone through the application process, you have committed to hours of service, leadership opportunities, academic, high standards in academics, but it's really not the end of a journey. It's the beginning of one. We need to treat this entrance into the National Honor Society, as a first step into developing who we are as human beings. Yes, 68 of you can now put member National Honor Society on your resumes and your college applications, and that's all well and good. But you really want to try and embody the ideas of the 4 pillars of NHS. As a former member of the National Honor Society myself, I really tried to consider what my experiences were like and how the National Honor Society helped me throughout those experiences. We're going to hear a lot about the 4 pillars, and those are scholarship, leadership, character, and service. My issue with the word pillar is the visual that goes along with it. Stagnant, unmoving, made out of some hardened material. And yes, that's great for building a foundation on, but that's not reality when it comes to us as students and as people. We're flexible, we're ever moving. I like to think of those 4 ideas more as vines that we can use to climb up to reach our true self. As many of you know who've had me in class, I tend to repeat things over and over again. Mantras, I guess, would be the best way to go about it. And for me, it helps to maintain focus in terms of what we're actually trying to do in school. Scholarship, we want to try and make sure that we have faith in the work that we are putting in to our scholarly activities. And we want to try not to get down. We want to be resilient as we move through assessments and assessments and assessments. And one of the ways that we can do that is by putting our faith in the work, not the result. And so I say trust the process over and over and over again. And yeah, I stole it from the Philadelphia 76ers. That's besides the point. That idea of really trying to embody that we are a constant work in progress matters. In terms of leadership, the power of I don't know. I try to embody as much as possible the idea that it is okay not to have all of the answers. I had a teacher in high school, Mr. Wydell, and he used to say, if you know what you know and you know what you don't know, then you know a lot. But if you know what you know and think you know what you don't know, then you know half as much. In terms of our development, we need to recognize when we need help. We need to recognize that we might not have all of the answers at any given time. Character. I use Do the Right Thing. There's a great Spike Lee movie, late 80s, Do the Right Thing, and I use that one constantly. At this point in our high school careers, for the most part, we know what the right thing to do is. If you can concentrate on doing the right thing day in and day out, you will find success no matter what other roadblocks jump into your way. And then finally, I want to focus on service, really, most of all, because in my mind, service is what drives each of these other pillars to a degree. Vines, you know. For service, we want to be the asymptote. And if we think back to math class, the asymptote is a curved line which approaches a straight line, never actually reaching it. A lot of times we see these with rational functions. For you math nerds, loves Calc 2, all the way up till Calc 2, and then we had a falling out. It's fine. But the idea is that we are never perfect. We're going to try and push ourselves every day, every class period, to reach perfection, knowing full well that we will never, ever get there. And it's that type of drive that ties in very, very nicely with service. Service leads us to be that asymptote, to acknowledge that we can make active choices to make things better, not only for ourselves, but for others. The idea is to make PR a better place on a daily basis. You are starting a journey here tonight, and that journey will not finish. That journey is eternal, it is ongoing. But by developing the idea of being an asymptote, even if we hit a snag, we can continue on. We can be resilient as we move forward. I like stories, vignettes, so I'm going to tell a couple of stories here along the way. The first one is my first activity in which I was a leader within National Honor Society was a volleyball tournament. And I got to lead, I got the service hours that were required, but in reality, it wasn't until much later that I realized what exactly the service piece was. It wasn't the scholarship that came out of it. It was the idea that I was putting in my time for someone else. That concept that you constantly have to be pushing yourself to do more, knowing that that will have an impact on others more than it might have an impact on you, that is what service really is. My journey then continued at Penn State University, and if you may be aware that Penn State University has an activity known as the Dance Marathon. 46 hours, you're on your feet. I participated both as a committee member and I was able to have the opportunity to dance my senior year. The culminating event of Thon is really about taking some of the pressure off of the children and parents of those children who have been diagnosed with pediatric cancer. And as Ben mentioned, when I came here not really knowing all that much, the one thing that I knew, that I was excited about, was that Pine Richland put on a mini-thon every year. Here was something that mattered to me and meant a lot to both me and my wife, and I was able to participate in it and continue that service here at Pine Richland. The opportunities that we have here are incredible. It is up to us to make conscious decisions to put service first. We want to be those asymptotes. We want to affect change. And my journey continued here as a teacher and throughout my teaching career. Teaching in and of itself is a service industry. We don't produce products, and I have a real problem with when the business model refers to schools as producing, kids are your products. No, they're not. We inspire kids. We try to push kids to reach their true self. We don't end up with a widget at the end of this process. You can provide similar experiences for the people that you meet through the National Honor Society. You have the ability, even at your age, to affect change, to make someone's life different, to change someone's life for the better. Just last week, I was after school, it was probably about 5 o'clock, and 3 of our NHS members were helping with the blood drive after school as I donated blood. Those activities matter to Pine Richland as a community. It goes beyond just doing well in the classroom, doing well on a field, doing well in a concert. And so for service, I just want to remind you that it's something that you can hold on to as your journey continues to wind. Whether you're changing majors in college, whether you're running into hardships outside of school, service can be a part of your life moving forward. It doesn't matter if you are, looking at different interests or searching for the Deathly Hallows. Take that, Jenna. Service matters to us, but it matters so much more to the people that it affects. And that is really a driving force behind what the National Honor Society is all about. Growing through service diversifies our views. We're able to learn humility, empathy, and the other pillars as well: scholarship, leadership, and character. So when you leave here tonight, I hope that as you move through the rest of your high school career, you will take on the idea of being that asymptote. It's continuing to move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Slim, for those words of encouragement and wisdom. Throughout the year, members of our chapter serve as role models for other students. In addition to strong academic records, which established our eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in many student organizations, and we serve our school and community throughout many activities, including tri-events and volunteering with UPMC and St. Barnabas. We are proud of our members for their total of over 5,000 hours of service completed last year. Thank you to our returning members for their dedication and service last year. We look forward to another successful year with all of you. Now we welcome these new members tonight who bring a new energy in support of in continuing our work with NHS. It is at this time that we proclaim to all in attendance that membership in the Pine Ridgeland chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that serve as standards for the society. I would now like to introduce Enyo Quena, our secretary, to speak about the pillar of character and to induct our first group of new members.
Of the 4 qualities, we begin with character. Character is the force within the individual that distinguishes each person from others. It creates for us our individuality and our goodness. It is that without which no one can respect oneself or hope to attain the respect of others. It is the force of character that guides one through life and, once developed, grows steadily within. Character is achieved, not received. It is the product of constant thought and action, the daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear, to be rather than to seem. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, and citizenship, we may hope to provide by example that we value character. We will now present our first group of new members. As your name is called, please step forward onto the stage to receive your membership, your certificate of membership, and your pin. Please hold your applause until all students in this group have been named. Madison Abbott, Michael Lessie, Brendan Anderson, Tanya Babar, Mia Baker, Abby Bradley, Danielle Bryant, Elena Camino, Ben Carnavale, Vivian Chan, Kirsten Chilcote, Allison Sternarich, Jesse Zersky, Caroline Dawson, and Zach DeWick. I would now like to invite to the podium Emma Coleman, our treasurer, to talk about the pillar of leadership and to direct the next group of inductees to membership.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking initiative in the classroom and in school activities, a real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school, community, or nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a meaningful and substantive charge to each of our members. Now, as your name is called, please step forward onto the stage to receive your certificate of membership and pin. Please hold your applause until all students in this group have been named. Kristen Donahoe, Aaron Dougal, Lauren Zilowski, Holly Ebner, Ashlyn Fink, Lydia Francis, Gregory Gilmore, Emma Gimble, Caitlin Gala, Melanie Haraneth, Amber Honick, Joshua Horan, Madison Howard, Ellie Jang, Sydney Jones, Gianna Giulio, Ella Carmanos. To speak about the next pillar, scholarship, I would like to introduce our peer tutoring coordinator, Aranya Krishnan. Aranya will then present our third group of new members.
Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study and understands the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for human education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life, leads to the highest success, and can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, provides the torch that guides us to understand the present, and supplies the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. And now, as your name is called, please step forward onto the stage to receive your certificate of membership and pin. Please hold your applause until all students in this group have been named. Sophia Catris, Philip Kim, Young Kim, Kyle Kimoto, Akash Katakota, Jordan Landrino, Miriam Lane, Catherine Lee, Natalie Loftus, Charlotte Menke, Lakshmi Natasan, Joshua Pazin, Rebecca Pang, Steffi Puthenporio, James Rakowski, Catherine Rischel, Isabella Romano, Max Romano, Griffin Roth. Please allow me to introduce Elizabeth Tice and Thomas Andrews, our service coordinators, to talk about the fourth pillar of service and to call forward our last group of new members.
Service can be established in the routine of a day's work where many opportunities arise to help others both at school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or public recognition is the quality we seek in our members and promote for the entire school body. We are committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow.
And now, as your name is called, please step forward onto the stage to receive your certificate of membership and pin. Please hold your applause until all students in this group have been named. Charles Rudolph, Layla Saw, Madeline Sholo, Olivia Scullion, Anna Starsinik, Emma Swartout, Caitlin Turchik, Mark Turchik, Gianna Torriello, Abigail Turner, Maria Wiedemann, Marshall Weinberg, Victor Williams, Ethan Wojcik, Emily Yoen, Sophia Zappa, and Carly Zinsick. We will now light the 4 candles representing the 4 pillars of National Honor Society from the Candle of Knowledge. The officers and I stand strongly behind the pillars of NHS. As members last year, we were able to demonstrate these qualities among our peers and be leaders in our community. This year, the officers and I look forward to a great year of service and developing our leadership abilities. And now, please welcome our principal, Mrs. Bowman, who will offer some closing remarks to the new members.
May I also have house lights, please? It worked for Dr. Miller. All right, I'll still find you in the dark. Congratulations, thank you. Congratulations to all of our National Honor Society inductees. Your dedication and commitment to those 4 pillars, those 4 qualities, scholarship, service, leadership, and character, reflects personal growth and your desire to be resilient through any challenges you may encounter. I know that each of you have demonstrated a commitment to those 4 pillars. Interestingly, when I think about this event each year, I think about how they connect so well to not just the mission and vision of our school district, but to those pride values that we have adopted here at the high school and live those every single day. At Pine Richland High School, when you walk down the main lobby hallway, you see a very large banner, and that large banner says, "We are PR Family." And so I have a question for inductees as well as current members. If you recall at the beginning of the school year, think back to the green Post-it that we asked every one of you to complete. What did you write on that piece of paper to talk about who you are within our Pine Richland family? Each of you was asked to finish the statement, "I am." And the idea behind that is, I am what? In terms of who we are as Pine Richland High School and as a community of learners together. How are you contributing to that family that we talk about and share so much? And how can you challenge yourself within those 4 pillars of this organization to contribute to our family every day? The building principals and I have a challenge for you. We ask you to seek innovative ways that you can contribute here in school and beyond school as well every single day. Think about those pride values and what they mean to all of us. As a leader, remember that by helping others be the best they can be, you become the best you can be as well. The true purpose of leadership is to serve others, to notice how others are being treated. And when you see that that treatment might not be very positive or not respectful, we need to do something about it. We need to act, because that's what members of a family do. We need to be the leaders. Step up, show that respect, value the diversity that all of us bring to this building every day. And don't be afraid to tell others if their actions just aren't okay. Pine Richland High School provides so many diverse opportunities. And as you were walking across the stage tonight, not only are you members of National Honor Society, but you are involved in so many different clubs, organizations, athletic teams across this building. So the other challenge we have for you is to serve others by encouraging others to get involved and to share with you in that respect of becoming fully engaged here as we share our We Are PR Family pride. We need to let our peers know that they're important and they're respected. And so I challenge each of you to see and embrace the differences in others as you encourage them to join you in participating in leadership, service, having strong character, and also in the academic challenges. We want every Pine Richland High School student to know that they are respected through our words and our actions. Thank you for the dedication that you bring every day to academics and to the learning both in and beyond the classroom. I want to thank our 2 advisors, Dr. Swatala and Ms. Lang. Students, if you could help me to share our appreciation with them with a round of applause, it would be great. We appreciate the countless hours that both of you give to our students. Thank you also to the parents and family members that are here this evening. As Mr. Slim so genuinely fondly said, these are our kids, they are. And we, as a staff, as administrators here at the high school that have the honor and privilege to work with them every single day, appreciate the support that you provide us as well. And we appreciate that more than we could ever share. So students, if you could also help me to thank all of the family and friends and guests that came here to congratulate you tonight. Thank you for being here, and again, congratulations to our students.
Thank you, Mrs. Bowman, for those final remarks. At this time, will the new inductees and current members please rise for the reciting of our oath? Please raise your right hand and repeat the pledge after me. Please join me in reciting the National Honor Society pledge. I pledge to maintain high scholastic standing. To endeavor intelligently and courageously to be a leader. To give of myself freely in service to others. And to hold as fundamental and worthy an untarnished character. In doing so, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. Thank you. You may now be seated.
We would like to thank you all for attending our National Honor Society induction ceremony. Special thanks are extended to our administrators for their attendance and support. We would also like to give a special thanks to our parents and families for helping us get to where we are today. And now I ask that everyone please stand for the recessional of our new inductees, thereby signifying the end of tonight's ceremony.